Hooray.
All right. Hello, and welcome to the reading of Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. This is a sequel to Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, which we previously read. So we have some returning characters and some new characters. So first, I want to introduce my friend Hunter. He's going to play Ted, Theodore Logan. I'm Bill S. Preston, Esquire. We have Eric with a K back as Rufus, as well as some other important characters. Tonight, Logan is starring as the Grim Reaper. Molly will be Princess Joanna and several other roles. Travis is Princess Elizabeth, as well as the good robots and some other important people. Anne is going to play Missy, Denomulus, Granny as Preston Esquire, and that has way more importance than you ever gave her credit for. Evil Bill will be played by the most non-evil Jeremy. Evil Ted is played by the slightly evil Jennifer. And last, but definitely not least, because he's literally playing a character titled Most Important Person, Rudy's going to fill in a lot of important parts. So our designated Sassy Pants George will take it away.
All right. Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey by Chris Matheson and Ed Solomon, a.k.a. No Setham Surik and Denomulus, transcribed by Yedizak Itak, as read by me, George Do It for the Gram. Fade in. A sign carved neatly into the lush hillside reads, Bill and Ted University, established 2425 AD. Crane up. The sign rests in the midst of rolling tree-covered hills, which house a glass-domed, ecologically harmonious university. Super, San Dimas, California, 2691 AD. A group of students of all nationalities suddenly floats past the camera on their air bikes, cherry-picker-like hoverpods with black-paneled bottoms. They come to a stop on the ground near the base of one of those domes. Take that, McFly. Wait, is Hill Valley near San Dimas? As each student dismounts, he overturns his bike and its paneled bottom fits neatly among other similarly overturned crafts to form a solar generator of sorts. We get the feeling that everything here is ecologically agreeable. As the students, backpacks over their shoulders, gather onto a hidden platform and begin to descend, we cut to inside one of the domes. Glassy, suffused with light, and with much surrounding foliage. Prevalent are two statues, very old men, whom we easily recognize as 90-year-old Bill and Ted. Beneath them are the words, be excellent to each other, and party on, dudes. Our nation's motto as of January 20th, 2021. The just arrived students separate, heading toward various learning centers, and we cut to the learning center moments later. Pockets of colorfully dressed students flow through the space, picking up various lessons on history, geography, philosophy, etc. In one section, a dozen or so students sit very casually, looking up at a three-dimensional blackboard, upon which is scrawled one of the most elaborate mathematical equations ever written. As we pull back, we see that the person doing the writing is none other than Rufus as we know him.
Then, of course, we talk the square root of the cosine to determine the alacrity of the Inception angle, thereby creating a most non-heinous acoustical reverberation. Isn't that right, Pythagoras?
A hologram of Pythagoras nods, then speaks in his native tongue.
Rufus sa tetwep edhep.
The translation, sure is Rufus, is subtitled across the hologram so the students may see what he's saying.
Isosceles, any comments?
Next to Pythagoras, the isosceles hologram shakes his head. Rufus turns to a third hologram.
Van Halen.
The third hologram, Eddie Van Halen, R.I.P., nods.
Station.
My feelings exactly. Next, we need to determine the absolute value.
Rufus suddenly stops as in the back of his classroom, two severely dressed students, all in black, check their pocket watches, then rise and quietly slip out of the room. Rufus hesitates a moment, then glances out a window, where several more students, also wearing conservative stiff black outfits, are stealing across the campus. Rufus glances at his watch and nods to himself, turns.
JS, why don't you take over?
A Johann Sebastian Bach hologram nods, then turns toward the blackboard. He speaks in German with the subtitles projected on the holograph.
Continuing with Rufus's ingenious theory of harmonic dissonance.
Interior hallway, same time. Rufus exits the classroom and starts down the hall after the rapidly currying students in black ahead of him. Cut to an empty corridor. Footsteps echoing. The serious students move briskly around a corner, their heavy formal clothing rustling as they go. Rufus rounds the same corner and stops, looks. The hallway is empty. Then he turns, notices a grate in the wall. It's loose. Moving closer, he hears noises, clanking, clattering, clamoring, and other alliteration sounds, am I right? He refits the grate, looks around, and moves towards a white paneled wall and removes his security pass. He presses a button and the wall parts, revealing a secret elevator. Rufus steps inside, attaches his security pass to his jacket, and the white paneled wall recloses. Whip pan to a black-clad student who steps forward. The student speaks into a tiny device.
He's on his way.
Station.
Cut to the dank, watery bowels of the university. Wow, I did not think we'd be in the bowels of anything this early on. Ew. Where the campus's organically fueled carbines and water-powered generators get their power from a flowing underground river. A dozen or so of these rigid, unsmiling students, we'll call rebels, have gathered and are murmuring amongst themselves. Suddenly, they fall silent as their leader, a tall, commanding older man, also wearing dark, conservative clothing, descends from a catwalk and slowly approaches the group. You know, the typical villain march in any comedic action movie, humming the Darth Vader march. Denomalus, we can't hear you.
It is time. They have reached the second crucial turning point in their destiny, the moment of their great discourse. The first annual Southern California Battle of the Bands. The message in their great speech is about to reach millions, and now is the time to change that.
Hear a little ding, and across the room, the elevator opens, and Rufus, more than curious, slips out and cuts behind a generator, eyes on ignition.
Anomalous, my old teacher.
Back to shot. The leader Denomalus walks before his troop of assumed rebels.
If our mission is successful, the course of history will be shifted, and fundamental values will be restored to the world. Discipline, order, consensus. No longer will our world be dominated by the legacy of the two fools.
Idiots, morons, cretins.
Cretins.
And no longer will we hear this.
He does a hate-filled air guitar.
We must stop them now. Brothers and sisters, are we ready?
Automatic weapons are pulled, and Denomalus crosses to an old-fashioned wagon which contains two covered figures.
Is this me still?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. The four threw me off. Fellow rebels, I introduce you to my secret weapons.
Denomalus suddenly yanks off the cloak, revealing... Oh god, I hope it's not his... Oh no, we're good. I'll tell you what it is. Bill and Ted, standing, frozen, staring ahead. Rufus is shocked. Back to the shot. Denomalus pushes a button and suddenly Bill and Ted come to life.
How's it going, rebels?
How's it going, rebels?
Everyone gasps. Several of the rebels, as if acting on a gut response, fire shots at the two figures, who show no reaction to being pelted by bullets. Wait, in the 25th century, they're able to sneak guns into the bowels of... No question with bowels ends well. I'll drop it. Denomalus raises his hands to stop the rebels, then snaps his finger. Suddenly, Bill and Ted grab their lower lips and pull their rubbery skin off their faces, revealing an elaborate patchwork of intricate wiring and circuitry. Around the room, the rebels stare, repulsed at the two figures.
Automatons, brothers and sisters, replicas only, programmed with my agenda.
The robots look around. We'll now call them Evil Bill and Ted. They are in every way exact duplicates of our two guys. Denomalus turns to them.
Now, what is your mission?
Okay, first we totally kill the real Bill and Ted.
Yeah, then we take over their lives.
Then we utterly destroy them.
Then, at the concert, We give the speech they were gonna give.
And thus a new future is born.
Don't tell us, dude. You programmed us. He's totally a robot.
So are you, dude.
I know.
We're total metalheads.
Air guitar.
Silence!
The bobbing, robotic Bill and Ted are met with nothing but disgusted glares. Rufus, having seen enough, creeps back to the elevator and pauses. Suddenly, a hand clasps down his shoulder. Rufus turns. It's the student from the hallway who is following him.
Open the door.
Rufus hesitates. The student cocks his gun, so Rufus opens it. And now Denomalos and all the rebels are standing directly before him at the elevator door.
Rufus, my favorite pupil. I knew you'd come.
Ambrose, I thought you were.
Dead? No. Just in preparation. I worked within the system as long as I could until I could stand it no longer.
You'll never get away with this.
Time will tell.
Time has told.
I will change that.
The students train their guns on Rufus. Denomalos nods to the security pass.
Take us to the booth.
Denomalos pushes in and we cut to interior of the large dome. Remodeled since we saw it in Excellent Adventure. It's larger, airier. The three most important people in the world sit, as before, suspended in midair. Their meditation is suddenly broken as a bell dings and the secret elevator opens. Evo, Bill, and Ted and Rufus walk out with the rebels in tow. The important people gape.
Rufus.
Better.
Denomalos signals, and the rebels blast apart the two hanging holograms of Bill and Ted, to the great joy of Evil Bill and Ted.
Excellent.
They then turn to the three important people, guns drawn. Denomalos walks forward.
The booth.
Beat. The important people gape, stunned at Evil Bill and Ted.
Don't look.
We're totally evil robots.
Now, if you wish to spare the life of your second greatest professor, no offense, Rufus.
And he slugs Rufus with the butt of his weapon. Rufus drops to the floor, groggily opening his eyes, as the most important person looks at the others, then slowly extends a glowing golden ball, which rises toward the ceiling. Suddenly the phone booth descends, coming to a rest in a pool of white light in the center of the room. Evil Bill and Ted stand, heads bobbing agreeably as the rebels respond to Denomalos' litany.
What is the fuel?
Fear.
What is the engine?
Discipline.
What is the ideal?
Order.
And how do we achieve it?
Donning sunglasses, Evil Bill and Ted step into the booth and call out.
Death
Death to Bill and Ted.
Rufus, barely conscious, shimmies toward a roped-off floor amp and two leaning guitars. And just as Evil Bill and Ted get a connection and there's a flash, Rufus grabs a guitar and hurls it across the room. The booth begins to drop, but before it disappears, the V-shaped edge of the guitar gets tangled in the now remodeled booth antenna, causing Rufus to be dragged across the room. Denomalos gasps. The rebels fire, but
Whoa.
Booth disappears, pulling Rufus down with it. And we smash cut to exterior large outdoor amphitheater, San Dimas, 1991, night. With a blinding flash of light and a burst of smoke, Bill and Ted, the real ones, jump to the center of the stage and torture some final wailing chords out of their guitars. The princesses, Joanna and Elizabeth, back them up. And as the music grinds to a strange, plodding vamp, Bill steps forward.
Thank you. Hope we did okay for this audition. I'm Bill S. Preston, Esquire, and this is Ted Theodore Logan.
Ted does a lame little riff on his guitar. They turn to the women.
And on drums and keyboards, celebrating their 5th year in this century, are the beautiful princesses from medieval England, Joanna and Elizabeth.
The princesses nod.
And we are
Wild
Stallions.
Bill looks over at Ted. He nods.
Close the show, dude.
Finally, in closing, we just wanted to say, okay, a lot of times you feel, dude, take it.
Well, like he said, life is is
Pause. The music sort of stops. Silence. Beat. Then abruptly the lights go out. One person applauds slowly.
At least she's not booing us.
Elsewhere in the theater, moments later, on stage, Joanna and Elizabeth are taking apart their instruments. While seated in the third row, Bill and Ted listen intently as a local promoter, tall blonde Rianne Wardrow, speaks candidly.
Okay. First off, your closing speech. It's the lamest thing I've ever heard.
Oh, we know. We didn't know what to say.
I mean, you guys keep telling me you're gonna be the greatest band in the world, but you stink.
yeah, we don't understand it either.
You can't sing, you can hardly play, your songs are terrible, you have no stage presence whatsoever. I mean, guys, the Battle of the Bands is the biggest event of new bands in the area. We've even got live coverage on Channel 13. Now, if you were me, would you put you guys on?
No way.
No way.
Wardrow looks down at her notes, shakes her head.
However, for some reason, I have faith in you two. So, I'm giving you a shot.
Excellent.
But last midnight. By that time, everyone should have left.
If they haven't, they will be by the time we're done.
Yeah, we fully cleaned out Ted's little brother's junior high school dance.
They totally turned on La Bamba while he was playing his solo.
Shut up, Ted.
Ugh, guys, do yourselves a favor. Prepare a little. Work on your act. Think of something. Don't embarrass yourselves too badly, huh? I mean, you're going to be on local TV.
Thanks, Miss Wardrow. We won't let you down.
But the guys look at each other, knowing they probably will. Wardrow nods, unsure of them, but smiles. Have faith, Miss Wardrow. Their music will save the world. Maybe. Probably. Exterior amphitheater a short while later as the guys walk toward the van.
We do give a most egregiously non-outstanding performance.
Yeah, it took us 2 months to work out our show.
Not to mention our speech.
We are most unaccomplished orators.
Good thing we got the princesses.
At least they can play.
They near Bill's 69. You probably picked that year on purpose. Black Chevy van, into the back of which the princesses have finished loading the equipment. Yas, queens.
Ted, did you call Missy?
Everything's ready. Should be the most resplendent birthday party.
Shall we, ladies?
The princesses nod. Guys, you're not even going to thank them for being your free labor. And we cut to exterior Bill and Ted's apartment building a little while later. The van is parked in the front of a 2-story stucco apartment complex. We hear the murmuring of a small crowd of people. Interior, Bill and Ted's apartment, same. Hard rock posters and history books abound. On the walls, framed, signed photos of historical figures from the last adventure. Piggy Wiggy Napoleon, Socrates, Bob Genghis Khan, and others. A booming sound system. And in a place of honor, 2 8x10 photos of Joanna and Elizabeth. But some of this is obscured because a small party is in progress. A hanging banner reads, Happy 521st birthday, Joanna and Elizabeth. Among the crowd, we see Captain Logan standing with Ted. Though there has been a thaw in their ice-cold relationship, their manner is still a bit strained.
So, I understand you have a little something else to celebrate tonight, huh, Ted?
Oh yeah, we got into the Battle of the Bands. I just hope we don't blow it too bad.
Well, keep up the good work.
Thanks, Dad. Maybe someone will see us and give us a job.
At this moment, a stern, military-clad man steps up to Captain Logan and slaps him on the shoulder.
If not, we've always got a spot for you, Ted.
Oh shit, who invited this guy? Pretty sure Bill and Ted aren't friends with this dude. Ted's eyes widen and he freezes.
Oh, Ted, you remember Colonel Oates?
From the Alaskan Military School.
How's
Bill, how's it going? Splendidly, Ted. Remember, it's not too late for you. For either of you.
Colonel Oates looks at Bill, who upon seeing Oates immediately turns and starts in the other direction. Oates puts his hand on Bill's shoulder.
Hope to see you soon, Bill. Oh, fresh fudge.
Bill swallows as Oates heads towards a just arriving plate of fudge, passing Missy on the way.
Hi, Otesy. Hi, guys.
How's it going, Missy? I mean, Mom? I mean,
He trails off and with Ted stares as Missy and Captain Logan exchange a long kiss.
Can't believe Missy divorced your dad and married mine.
I know. Who's next?
Maybe me.
Yeah, then you'll be your own stepdad.
That would be most unrivaled.
Missy and Captain Logan pull apart, finally, but only for a second. They immediately start kissing again, because that's what every married couple dreams of doing at their future daughter-in-law's birthday party. Ted shakes his head.
Can't believe they're going for it right in front of your dad's photo.
Bill and Ted glanced at a nearby framed newspaper article and photo of Mr. Preston. In it, Bill's dad is bound, gagged, and blindfolded. The headline reads, San Dimas man inexplicably held captive in Beirut.
It was a bad place for a family vacation.
At least he died a patriot, dude.
He's not dead, Ted.
Well, he will die a patriot someday.
Shut up, Ted.
We all will, dude.
Shut up, Ted.
Whoa. Missy and Captain Logan pull apart again. Missy removes a book from a bag and shows it to the guys. How did she suddenly remember a book or ignore the conversation about her ex-husband?
Oh, I got the girls this. Do you think they like it?
Past lives, past lessons.
You know, I believe what Joanna and Elizabeth say about having lived in medieval England. See, I was once Ty Cobb.
Bill and Ted nod and exchange glances. Missy and Captain Logan start kissing again, because what else would they do?
Let's get out of here, Bill.
As they start away...
Hey, Ted.
What?
Remember when you asked her out at their wedding?
Shut up, Bill.
As they head into the kitchen, passing a goldfish bowl...
How's it going, little Axl Rose?
They disappear into the kitchen.
Totally love my fish.
And we dissolve to interior apartment a few hours later. We see cards, paper cups, plates with cake crumbs, and melted ice cream. The party's over and the place is cleared out. In the courtyard below, Bill, Ted, Joanna, and Elizabeth are at a table by the lit-up pool.
Thank you for the lovely birthday party.
Of course, babes.
But we haven't given you our gifts yet.
The princesses look at each other. Bill and Ted hesitate a moment. Aw, they're nervous.
Okay, beautiful babes from England. Even though we don't know what the future will bring.
Well, actually we do. Sorta.
But we don't believe it.
Anyways, whatever it may bring.
The guys look at each other.
Excuse us,
dude.
And the two couples separate. Bill kneels at one end of the table with Joanna. Ted kneels at the other end with Elizabeth. Each removes a piece of paper, intercut between Bill and Ted as each reveals his own deep individual feelings.
I wrote this myself.
Do you want to do it simultaneously or back and forth?
We can do it simultaneously.
Okay. I wrote this myself.
Joanna, as I wander through the dark and lonely forest of life, surrounded by various beasts, bears,
sharks,
vipers,
eels,
squirrels,
yellowtail,
not to mention small
tiny barnacles
tree-growing
and
lichen,
algae,
woodpeckers,
starfish,
tree rats,
blowfish,
toads,
catfish.
bugs,
Oh,
Gila
that's fresh
monsters.
water.
Oh no, that's desert.
What I mean
The
to
point
say
is,
Elizabeth,
will you marry us?
will you marry us?
Bill, I would love to.
I guess Elizabeth said no. Well done, guys.
Damn it, Travis.
Dude, I'm not getting
honest,
married alone.
All right.
I'm innocent.
All right. Joanna and Bill kiss. Elizabeth and Ted also kiss. The guys look at each other and do a silent air guitar, as if to say things couldn't be going much better. Then in the distance we see, but they don't, the sky high above them, seemingly opening up. There's a flash, and we cut to exterior Circle K, night. Strange things must be afoot here. A cat sits chewing on a burrito wrapper. As above it, the phone booth appears, plummeting out of the clouds. As it whistles into view, heading towards the ground, we hear,
Aim for the cat, dude. Aim for the cat.
I'm totally trying, Evil Ted.
the booth careens a bit to one side and lands with a crash, just missing the cat who leaps away, yowling, as all movie cats do. Think there are voice actor cats out there? Like Binks from Hocus Pocus? Oh, did you see the Quarantine Theater Company's reading of it? Hashtag self-promo. Air guitar. Back at the phone booth, the doors open. Evil Bill and Ted, still wearing shades, look around.
Whoa, not bad.
Yeah, let's make it bad.
Evil Ted sticks his finger into his head and pulls out his eye, because that's a thing. He speaks to
We're
it.
here, dude.
The eye shimmers, and then with a flash, Denomalos's image appears in it.
Is Rufus with you?
Straight to the point, I guess. Evil Bill, listening over Ted's shoulder, looks around the booth. He sees that the cord, the one that Rufus had tied onto the top of the booth, has been severed. Rufus is nowhere to be seen. Interior Denomalos's lair, same time. Denomalos looks at his two robots on a monitor.
Looks like we lost him in the circuits of time.
Good. Then he is gone forever. Now, first act of business. Destroy the ridiculous, insipid band.
You got it,
Got it,
evil dude.
Get to work.
And as Evil Ted reinserts his eye, thus shifting the POV on the monitor, Denomalos stares grimly into it, seething. And we cut to exterior Bill and Ted's apartment courtyard. Bill and Ted are walking up the steps towards their second floor apartment alone.
Dude,
What?
maybe one day they'll stay over with us.
Yeah, our girlfriends are most chaste.
At least they're not dating our dads.
Good point, dude.
They hear the phone in their apartment begin to ring. Interior Bill and Ted's apartment, continuous. Bill rushes in and picks the phone up. Ted enters behind him.
Hello? Hello?
Hi, Bill. This is Joanna.
What's up, Joanna? How'd you get home so fast?
Elizabeth and I have spoken, and we've decided we're quitting Wild Stallions.
What? Why?
Ted presses his ear to the phone.
We don't like you anymore, and we never want to see you again.
No way.
We're going to the desert to be alone.
What?
It's over. Goodbye.
Click. Maybe if you'd been gentlemen and driven them home, boys. The guys look at the phone, then at each other. Cut to exterior Circle K, same. Evil Ted, phone in hand, looks at Evil Bill.
I totally fooled those other usses.
Yeah, they're completely brilliant.
Not.
Okay, let's lose the booth and start phase 1.
Station.
They dial some numbers, the booth glows and disappears. Cut to interior Bill and Ted's apartment a bit later. Bill and Ted, beers in hand, sit totally dejected on opposite ends of the couch, staring blankly ahead. After a long beat,
What are we gonna do?
Can't play without him.
I don't want to play without him.
This is most non-heinous.
Yeah. We gotta get him back.
But how?
long pause. They sink even further into the cage. The doorbell rings. Bill and Ted look at each other. They don't know anyone else, so who's at the door? Bill gets up, drags himself to the door, and opens it. Then his jaw drops as he sees Evil Bill and Ted standing in the doorway.
How's it going?
How's it going, Bill and Ted?
Ted joins Bill at the door and they look at each other, eyes widening.
Whoa! It's us again.
Serious and solemn, Bill shakes hands with himself.
How's it going, Bill?
Not bad, Bill. You?
Bad.
Evil Ted nods understandingly. He walks Ted back to the sofa, arm around him.
We came to help you guys in your most unfortunate situation.
Ted looks skeptically at his robot doppelganger. They sit down.
Wow.
Come with us. We'll show you.
Ted looks at Evil Ted.
Excuse us.
He rises and crosses to Bill.
Dude, I've got a weird feeling here.
Why?
I don't know. How do we know these guys are really us?
They look over. The two evil ones, finishing off Bill and Ted's beers, smile sympathetically at them. Bill looks back at Ted.
Ted, we've been through this before. If it wasn't for the previous intervention of our future selves, would we have even passed history? Or met the princesses? Or had a most excellent adventure through time?
Ted thinks, then looks over at Evil Ted, still a bit skeptical.
Okay, Ted, if you really me, how many fingers am I about to hold up?
3.
B. Ted holds up 3 fingers, amazed. Dude, that's like performing a magic trick on yourself and being impressed you remember the card you're currently looking at.
Whoa, you're right.
Bill looks at Ted. Evil Bill and Ted look at each other, roll their eyes secretly, because it wasn't that hard, guys, and then...
We'll drive. Let's go.
Evil Bill and Ted hold the door open for Bill and Ted, who start out as they pass.
Ted,
What?
I have a feeling we're about to embark on a most unprecedented expedition.
You should have listened to Ted's feeling, dude, but you're not wrong. Ted nods, and the two of them disappear out the door. Behind them, Evil Bill and Evil Ted start to exit, then stop when they see the 2 framed photos of the princesses. Evil Ted smiles.
Dude,
What?
I got a full-on robot chubby.
Later, Evil Ted. Later.
They leave the photos and take off after Bill and Ted. Exterior apartment night continuous. Bill, Ted, Evil Bill, and Evil Ted walk towards the van.
So where in the desert did they go?
You'll see.
They get into the van, and as it takes off, we cut to exterior I-15 heading east an hour later. The van shoots out towards the desert, windows open. Inside the van, Bill and Ted sit in the back shivering.
I'm cold.
Yeah. Could we have the heater back here?
Shut up, Bill.
In the back, Bill and Ted look at each other, mouth agape.
That you is a real jerk.
Yeah. I gotta remember to be more considerate towards myself when I become him.
That's good advice, Bill. We should all be more considerate towards ourselves. Evil Ted turns around.
He said, shut your pie holes.
Ted leans forward in direct confrontation with Evil Ted.
What's your problem, dude?
I'm not interested in your insipid jabbering, insect.
Ted's eyes just plain bug out. I see what they did there. He's an insect, bug out. Just me? Okay.
Well, excuse me, Ted.
Bill tries to settle down this potentially volatile situation.
Hey, maybe we should stop for some food and talk this
Shut
out.
your rotting, stinking heads, vermin.
Bill and Ted slink into the back seat looking at each other.
Dude, I got a very bad feeling.
I told you. Ahem. Bill nods. Exterior desert a bit later. The van cruises past a sign which reads Death Valley, 10 miles. Interior van, as it bumps along a narrow, abandoned road.
Excuse me. Where are we going?
No answer. Evil Bill and Evil Ted stare ahead. Ted turns to Bill.
Dude, what if these are evil robot us from the future, sitting here to kill us and replace us?
Wow. So always trust your gut, kids. Even Ted knows getting in an unmarked van with strangers is bad.
Ted, that is most implausible.
Is it though, Bill? Is it? The van screeches to a stop. Exterior desert just before dawn. Evil Bill and Evil Ted throw open the side doors.
Out.
Bill and Ted climb out slowly and look around.
So, where are Joanna and Elizabeth?
They're not here. What the
No.
hell?
We lied. Here's the truth. We're totally gonna kill you now.
No,
way!
Yes way, Ted. We're fully programmed to do it.
Yeah, and we want to do it too.
You dick, Bill!
He lunges and throws a punch at Evil Bill, quickly withdrawing his hand in pain.
Ow, you're metal, dude!
I know. Check it out.
He rips open his chest, revealing a bunch of wires and circuits.
Whoa!
Evil Bill and Ted do an air guitar. Bill and Ted, though frightened, are impressed enough to join the air guitar.
Let's go.
Bogus.
They are grabbed by the neck and yanked out of frame as we cut to close on Bill and Ted's faces, absolutely terrified. Wider shot. Bill and Ted are being carried toward a sheer, extremely high cliff by their much more powerful robot counterparts.
Ted, we gotta try something.
Ted nods. As they reach the cliff, Ted looks at the robots.
Dudes, even though you're doing this, we
love you.
yeah, we totally love you.
Pause. Evil Bill and Evil Ted exchange glances, smile cruelly, then look back at Bill and Ted.
Freaks.
Bill and Ted's mouths drop open.
Catch you later, Bill and
and
Ted.
And with a final push, Evil Bill and Ted release their grips and send Bill and Ted screaming, plummeting helplessly off the side of the cliff.
No way!
The screams grow more terrified as they grow fainter, all heading toward a final, distant thump. Hold on, Evil Bill and Ted, who smile, then carefully lean over the cliff and hang slow, dripping loogies, just in case we weren't sure who the gross bad guys are. Evil Bill steps back, nods.
I totally loogied on that good dead me.
Yeah, we're fully evil robots.
Yeah.
Interrupted by Evil Ted's eyes, which suddenly flash white, then Denomolos's face appears in them.
Go to their homes, turn everyone and they know against them, and prepare for the speech.
You got it, dude. Let's go, Evil Ted. We got a whole evil agenda to fulfill.
Yeah, and an evil speech to make.
They turn to the van.
You want to take this piece of junk?
Nah, this is beat.
Then, looking off screen, Evil Ted brightens.
There goes a push.
Let's bag it.
How?
I've got an idea.
Evil Bill grabs his own neck and yanks his own head off his body. Whoa, this movie needed a graphic imagery warning, and fires it up like a lawnmower. Then, rocking back like a quarterback, he hurls it inside the speeding Porsche. The driver reacts, amazed beyond words, as Evil Bill's flying head sails right up next to his window.
Pull over, dude.
The driver grips the wheel, speechless, unable to react. Then suddenly he hears...
He said, pull over.
The driver turns and is doubly shocked to see that floating alongside the other window is Evil Ted's head.
How's it going, dude?
The driver slams on the brakes. Evil Bill and Ted's flying heads land and roll off into the desert. Wide shot of the road. As the Porsche skids to a halt, the driver gets out and runs across the desert. We see Evil Bill and Ted's headless bodies in the background, running towards the car. And we cut to the bottom of the cliff, where behind a clump of shrubs in a desolate ravine are the two limp, lifeless forms of Bill and Ted. A long moment passes. Then a heavy gray mist slowly drifts in, and suddenly a dark, ghostly figure wearing a black hooded robe and carrying a scythe appears over Bill and Ted. This is the Grim Reaper. Not sure that he really needs an introduction, but it feels rude to not mention him. Hi, Death. Anyway, this new guy reaches his long, bony hand down towards the guy's supine bodies, and with a soft hissing sound, he pulls Bill and Ted, vague and translucent, out of their bodies. The guys, now above their corpses, look at each other.
Bill, what happened?
Bill looks at Ted, eyes widening.
Ted, we're dead, dude.
No way.
Yes way. Look.
They both look down at their bodies. Ted gasps, beat, then...
Now what?
The Grim Reaper lays a bony hand on each of their shoulders. The guys slowly turn their heads and are face to bony face with Death himself.
Whoa.
Whoa. You need a tan, dude.
Yeah, who are you?
Ted, it's the Grim Reaper.
See? The dude needs no introduction.
Oh. Nice robe, dude.
You will come with me.
The guys look at each other. They hesitate.
Bill, we can't. We gotta get back.
Ted, we can't. We're dead.
We gotta stop this evil us's. We gotta try.
Bill looks at Ted, nods, turns back to the Grim Reaper.
Excuse us, dude, but is there any way back?
The Grim Reaper nods heavily.
You may challenge me to a contest, but if you lose, you will remain here in the afterlife forever.
Bill and Ted swallow. Then
What if we win?
the Grim Reaper smiles an icy smile.
No one has ever won.
Beat. The Reaper turns, beckons them with a bony finger. The guys look at each other.
Dude, we gotta ditch this guy.
Definitely. But how?
Melvin!
Melvin!
And with a brief, quiet air guitar, they point down to the Reaper's feet.
Excuse us, dude, but your shoes are untied.
The Grim Reaper bends over. Bill and Ted rush him. There's a flurry of yanks and tugs and flapping back material, and we hear a pained oomph as we cut to exterior desert a moment later. Bill and Ted are hurrying towards a ridge.
Can't believe we just Melvin death.
It does sound kind of badass, guys, but also questionable.
Let's just hope he doesn't catch up with us.
They reach the ridge, look down at a busy truck stop where two truckers, Mike and Al, toothpicks in mouth, are strolling in their truck. Mike and Al's POV as they open their doors, the truck appears empty. However, from another angle, we see Bill and Ted, still translucent, seated in the center of the cab.
How's it going, live dudes?
We're totally Haunted Mansion, dude.
Beware of hitchhiking ghosts, dude.
Mike, the driver, shivers.
Something.
Al shakes his head.
It's us.
Boo!
Boo.
Mike and Al both shiver a little.
I got a weird feeling.
As the truck pulls away, Bill and Ted continue to spook Mike and Al as we cut to exterior San Dimas morning. The truck rolls to a stop, and Bill and Ted float out of the cab, looking back at the truckers.
Thanks for the lift, dudes.
They can't hear you, Ted.
Oh, yeah. Too bad we'll never get to thank them.
The guys turn and walk away, disappointed. After a second, we hear a loud off-screen crash and explosion. The guys turn and see that up ahead, the truck crashed into a wall and went up in a huge fireball. After a beat, we see Mike and Al, now translucent, floating up into the air, away from the wreckage. Bill and Ted are speechless for a moment, then look at each other and call out,
Thanks for the ride, dudes.
dudes.
The ghost truckers, rising shaken, look back at the guys and nod. As Mike and Al continue to rise, Bill and Ted start away. In front of Mike and Al, the Grim Reaper appears and beckons to them, still pulling at his underwear. As we cut to exterior Bill and Ted's apartment moments later, the guys pass a beaten-up, overheating, obviously way overdriven Porsche, which is parked haphazardly in front of the building. As they head up the stairs, they hear loud music coming through their open door. Interior apartment. Bill and Ted enter, look around. The music is cranked and the place is a mess. The bedroom door is half closed. Bill and Ted slowly approach their bedroom and peer inside. They gasp. Before them on their respective beds, Evil Bill and Evil Ted are making out with Joanna and Elizabeth.
No way.
Those evil asses are totally scoring. With their girlfriends.
Evil Bill and Ted start to roll on top of the girls.
Come on, babe. Evil Ted needs some servicing.
No, let her go.
Ted, they can't hear you. Get off, Joanna.
Joanna pushes Evil Bill off of her and rises.
I don't understand what's come over you, Bill. You're usually so nice.
Nice for dillweeds. Get back here and put out.
Joanna turns to Elizabeth, who's also risen to her feet.
Let's go.
Elizabeth nods, and the princesses hurry out right through the horrified Bill and Ted. Evil Bill and Ted turn, watch the princesses leave, and call out.
Catch you later, babes.
We hear the front door slam.
I got an idea. Tonight at the concert, after we make Denomalous speech, let's waste him.
Bill and Ted's jaws drop.
Gonna make a speech as us?
No way.
Station. For now, let's trash this lame little rat hole.
Tell her, Evil Ted.
Pleased with themselves, Evil Bill and Ted exit the bedroom. Bill and Ted look at each other, shocked beyond words.
We've got to stop them.
Yeah, but how?
Exterior San Dimas police station a little later. Bill and Ted move into frame and look at the station.
You really think this'll work?
Worked in The Exorcist 1 and 3.
But not in Exorcist 2, the heretic.
Exactly, Ted.
You guys take a breath, move toward the station, and we cut to interior station conference room. Captain Logan sits before a group of 10 or 15 officers leading the morning briefing.
And we'll be stepping up security at the amphitheater tonight for the Battle of the Bands.
Captain Logan's second in command, Officer James, smiles.
Hang on. I hear your son's band's gonna be playing.
Don't remind me. Also,
As Captain Logan looks down at his notes, we see, but no one else does, Bill and Ted enter the room.
So, how do we do this?
Ted shrugs, spots a desk, climbs onto it, and, as if diving into a pool, leaps into the air and jumps into his father's ear. Because, as everyone knows, the ears are the door to the soul. Captain Logan goes blank. Then suddenly he looks up from his notes, a goofy Ted-like expression on his face, and stands up. He looks at the other officers, head bobbing.
okay, dudes. I mean, fellow policemen. My son, Ted Theodore Logan, and his best friend, Bill S. Preston, Esquire, have been murdered and replaced by evil robots from the future.
Bill, visible only to us, looks over at Captain Logan and grins.
You did it, dude!
Captain Logan nods and gives a thumbs up to what appears to be an empty wall.
I totally possessed my dad.
Captain Logan does an air guitar, suddenly stopping when he notices the other officers looking at him.
Okay, you gotta go over and arrest these robots so they don't ruin everything for me and Bill. I mean, my son and Bill. And most importantly, they don't hurt the babes. Princesses.
He looks around. The other cops stare at him. He looks over at Bill, the empty wall.
This isn't working. Back me up, dude.
Bill nods, steps into a chair behind Officer James, and holding his nose, jumps into Officer James's ear. Hashtag squad goals. Officer James goes blank for a moment. Then suddenly, Bill-like, he looks over at Captain Logan and beams.
I totally believe you, dude.
Captain Logan and Officer James high-five. Then Bill jumps out of Officer James and into the officer next to him, Officer Pratt.
Me too.
Bill jumps from Officer Pratt to the officer next to him, Officer Hinckley.
Same here.
And another, Officer Gass.
I'm with him. Whoa, donuts!
Excellent.
Captain Logan and Officer Gass stuff their donuts into their mouths, oblivious to the entire room full of cops who stare, utterly dumbfounded.
Good crawler.
Yeah. I got really hungry being dead.
Now we're eating, but these aren't even our bodies.
Dude, this is really weird.
Then Officer Gass and Captain Logan stop and turn back to the silent, awestruck room.
Anyways, that's all. Catch you later, cop dudes.
Captain Logan and Officer Gass go blank for a moment while we see Bill and Ted emerge out of their bodies. They stand translucent behind their erstwhile hosts.
That was most invigorating.
Yeah, but let's see if it worked.
They watch expectant as Logan and Gass, still holding half-eaten donuts, crumbs all over their face, come to. Logan, completely dazed, shakes his head.
Meeting's over.
Dad.
Captain Logan sits stunned.
I need a vacation.
James, Hinckley, Pratt, and Gass nod in agreement. Bill and Ted look at each other, devastated.
Now what?
Wait, it's Saturday, right? Maybe Missy can help us.
Interior Logan House a bit later. Dim light, wind chimes, crystals, new age music, John Boswell's Kindred Spirits plays. As we move along a row of 6 or 7 relatively attractive, well-dressed 25 to 30-year-olds who sit on cushions in a half circle, eyes closed, hands joined.
Gandhi.
Aristotle.
Anne Boleyn.
President Chester A. Arthur.
Clark Gable.
Charlemagne. And I would like to contact Ty Cobb.
She begins an incantation. Meanwhile, outside the house, Bill and Ted are looking in the window at this.
Has this channeling stuff ever worked?
No, but it will today, dude.
Bill nods, and we cut to the living room. Close on Missy, eyes closed, head gently swaying as she finishes her incantation and says,
"O great spirits from the netherworld, leave your celestial abode and speak upon us with your life lessons."
We hear a slight hissing, and suddenly everyone tightens as 2 shimmery bluish forms appear near the top of the room. All eyes widen. This is the first time anything has ever happened at these meetings.
I feel the spirits have arrived.
How's it going, New Age dudes?
How's it going, New Age dudes?
Audible gasp. These people are totally unprepared for this. One of the shimmering forms is floating directly above Missy.
Spirits, can you hear me?
Yeah, and we can totally see down here.
It's your mom, Ted. But you're right. Move over, dude.
Everyone shudders. Missy continues, trying to keep it together.
What have you to say to us, spirits?
Okay, see, evil robots came and...
Ted, we don't got time. Your son and his excellent friend Bill were killed.
A scream in the room. The shimmering forms do an air guitar. Then...
What do you want?
Shift a
Shift
little,
to the
right.
right. Look in the desert. You'll find their bodies.
More screams. Missy is barely holding it together.
You must go!
Listen to us. Beware of evil Bill and evil Ted.
Beware! Beware! Beware!
Missy begins frantically searching through the pile of books in front of her. She looks at the title of one of them, The Riddance of Evil. She cracks it open and begins reading.
"O spirits from hell, I send you back into the darkness from whence you came. Delro et elur sic dina day."
Close shot, what we can make out of Bill and Ted. We get a sense that they're looking at each other.
What's she doing?
I don't know, but I don't think it's good.
Suddenly, the incantation stops.
Uh-oh.
Missy slams the book shut, and then in an instant, whoosh! The shimmering forms whirl around the room before being sucked down through the floor.
No way!
Hey.
Where they disappear from view, leaving only a little burn mark in their place. Someone flicks the lights on. Missy collects herself.
Lunch, anyone?
Everyone nods and quickly begins to exit the room. As they do, the Grim Reaper appears just in time to hear,
"Well, I got rid of them, but I wonder where I sent them."
Hold on the Grim Reaper, who looks down, then shakes his gaunt, pale head. And we smash cut to a dark, endless hole, down which Bill and Ted are plummeting uncontrollably.
Whoa!
They continue to drop, screaming.
Dude, this is a totally deep hole.
Yeah. Now what?
I don't know.
Pause. They're still falling.
Want to play 20 questions?
Okay, I got one.
Are you a mineral?
Yeah.
Are you a tank?
Yeah, good one.
For anyone wondering, they're totally still following. More time passes, and they're still falling. Ted yawns.
I'm bored.
Yeah. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Wild.
Wild who?
Wild stallions!
And then suddenly, whomp, they land on the edge, barely, of a craggy reddish coal-like rock.
Whoa!
Whoa!
But before they can get a grip, boom! Heavy black boots belonging to Nazi stormtroopers stomp down their hands. The guys slip off and begin falling again.
Whoa!
Whoa!
This time onto another rock, where they land on a diving board-like plank and instantly are surrounded by a gang of pirates who back the guys off the plank, sending them falling again.
Whoa!
And landing thud on yet another rock, this time surrounded by gangsters.
No way!
No way!
They tumble backwards, falling yet again, and land this time solidly in the center of the smoking, blistering, hot, living room-sized rock, where they brush themselves off, pick themselves up from the dusty reddish surface.
Whoa! Not bad.
Yeah, can we do it again?
The guys become aware of an indistinct chorus of moans and a battery of trudging footsteps. They look around for the first time, getting a full perspective of where they are. They are in a vast, infinite inferno, perched up on a rock, one of seemingly billions which hover chain-linked to a massive center rock. On their rock, the guys react.
No way!
This is not what I expected the place to look like at all.
Yeah, we totally got lied to by our album covers.
Then abruptly, an enormous pitchfork is driven into the ground between Bill and Ted, and a tall, heavily built demon guard, dressed all in black, grabs them and whips them out of frame. Seconds later, Bill and Ted gulp as two tiny demon guards, dressed like the large one, shackle their feet and thrust sledgehammers at them. The guys look at each other.
Non-triumphant.
A whip cracks, and they have no choice but to begin breaking rocks. Bill hits, Ted hits, Bill hits again, Ted hits again. Finally,
Dude, I totally broke a rock.
Way to go, dude!
they continue breaking. Bill hits, Ted hits, Bill, Ted, Bill, Ted, Bill, Ted, then...
I kind of like this.
You want to do it for eternity, Ted?
No.
Stopping, they turn to their guard.
Excuse us, Mr. Demon Sir, dude, but how long we gotta do this for?
Yeah, we gotta go to a concert.
The guard opens his mouth and pulls out a huge black rat. He dangles it in front of the guys' faces.
Whoa!
Not bad.
We totally knew this guy who got one of these in his bucket of chicken.
Do something else, dude.
Yeah, to the right again.
The guard looks at them for a moment, then pushes them back. They hit more rocks, and some more, and some more, and more. Then, after a moment...
Dude, I'm telling you, I like this.
Ted, you can break rocks when we get home.
Yeah, but not so many.
A huge, suspended boulder is reeled past them towards the great center rock, with a screaming, tortured soul protesting vehemently on top of it. When it passes, Bill and Ted can see that on the main rock, high above them, a towering, shadowy, distant figure is standing, overseeing the dark domain. Bill and Ted look back at each other.
What's that?
Ted, who do you think it is?
Oh, yeah. How are we gonna get his attention?
They look at each other. Then...
Sign of the devil, dude.
Seconds later, high-angle shot from behind the dark
dude.
figure. As the infinite scattering of chain boulders spreads out below us, we see upon one of them two small figures thrusting their arms back and forth, index and little fingers raised in the heavy metal sign of the devil. We hear distant, tiny voices.
Down here,
dude!
The figure stares down for a moment, then reaches to his side, pulls a lever, and Bill and Ted are suddenly jerked off their feet as massive chains churgle, and their rock is drawn closer to the main one. From behind, the dark figure releases the lever, and Bill and Ted are suddenly flung off their rock, where they land, whomp, at the base of a stairway, and look up at the smoky red light which emanates from the top.
How's it going, Beelzebub?
Excellent rocks you have here.
We totally broke some.
So, okay. Can we go now?
Yeah, 'cause, see, this is all a mistake. My ex-stepmom,
Who's now my stepmom.
We hear a low, heavy chuckling, then the red light intensifies.
I know.
You do?
So does that mean
You may go.
Bill and Ted's mouths drop again.
Thanks, dude.
yeah, you got a bad rap, but you actually seem like an okay.
Ooh, you may have said too much, Bill. Suddenly, everything begins to shake. The guys' mouths drop open as a crevice opens beneath their feet and they suddenly drop through the floor and are deposited in a tunnel-like labyrinth where they land with a thud. Slowly, they rise and look around. Dozens of different passageways, like small cave doors, shoot off in all directions.
Where are we?
I don't know. I guess we should try one of these doors.
Ted nods. The guys carefully approach the first passageway on the right. They step inside and suddenly are in an army bunker somewhere in the frozen north.
Where are we now?
Suddenly, a whistle blows, and the guys turn as a figure in green combat stalks towards them.
Who's that?
Suddenly, Ted's eyes widen with fear.
Oh no. Oh no. It's Colonel Oates!
It's Colonel Oates!
The guys look at each other in terror.
No way!
No way!
And suddenly, Colonel Oates is upon the guys, eyeballing them and bellowing in their ears. Oates looks worse, much worse, than he did in the guy's apartment. He's now the meanest, toughest military commander ever.
Gentlemen, welcome to hell.
No way!
What?
No way, sir?
You will do whatever I tell you to do from now on. Is that clear?
Yes, sir, dude!
What?
Yes, dude, sir!
What?
Yes, sir! Sir! Dude, sir!
Get down and give me infinity.
The guys drop down and begin to do push-ups on the cold concrete ground. As they do, Oates walks around them.
You stupid, pathetic, craven, worthless little cretins. Yeah, you pitiful, ignorant, flabby little morons.
He continues above them as the guys look at each other, struggling with their push-ups.
Dude, there is no way I can possibly do infinity push-ups.
Same, dude.
We gotta get out of here.
Ted nods, and in an instant they both jump to their feet, push past Colonel Oates, and rush out the door, where they dash into the rock labyrinth.
Dude,
What?
I think we're in our own personal hell.
Let's split up.
Yeah, that way he can't get us. He can't get to us as bad.
As they dive through opposite passageways, with Ted as he tumbles into one and suddenly recoils in terror, because he's in the middle of a horrifying memory. At the bottom of a stairway sits a colorful Easter basket. On it is a clearly marked name tag, to Deacon. As he starts walking towards it, he becomes young Ted, Keanu as a 10-year-old. As he tiptoes up to it, he looks around. Then suddenly he grabs the basket and rushes up the stairs, stuffing chocolates into his mouth. Then suddenly stops in his tracks and screams. Before him is a 3-foot-tall pink bunny pointing an accusing finger. Bunny! You took Deacon's Easter basket!
That was 10 years ago.
The bunny starts to hop towards him, and on Ted's wide, terrified eyes, we cut to Bill's face, also registering sheer terror and an awful memory.
Oh no!
Reverse shot in a relic-filled grandmothery room. Behind 80 birthday candles, a tiny old lady surrounded by relatives of all sorts looks up at the door on Bill as he reacts in horror.
Granny S. Preston Esquire?
More relatives move towards Bill and, grabbing him by the arms, pull him towards his grandmother. As Bill passes a brocaded old mirror, he notices that he's now young Bill, Alex as a 6-year-old.
No. No!
Granny S. Preston Esquire points to her mustachioed upper lip and smiles.
about a kiss for your dear old granny, Bill?
Noise swells, relatives smile, the little boy is pushed closer and closer, and then finally turning, he bolts past the mirror as young Bill and dives back into the rock labyrinth. Where now Bill again, he comes face to face with Ted, who's also desperately scrambling out of the other room.
Non-heinous.
Non-heinous.
Suddenly, the craggy cavity is bathed in red light, and we hear,
Chose your eternity.
Choose your own, you freak.
Instantly, Ted is whipped down the narrow tunnel and slammed into the far rock wall. Yeah, maybe don't piss off the devil, dude. Once I heard he went down to Georgia. Anyway, Bill looks up and screams,
You ugly, red, source of all evil.
boom! He's thrown to the same wall even harder. Well, at least he stood up for his friend. Flames suddenly shoot toward them. The guys jump to their feet and try to run away, but as if in a bad dream, they move in slow motion.
Totally NFL highlights.
Yeah, only this isn't football. It's eternal damnation and torment.
Imagine Monday Night Damnation. Bets on the Stoner Dudes? They continue running in place for a moment. The dark figure's laughter growing louder and louder, the flames licking nearer and nearer to their feet. Finally, Bill looks over at Ted.
Ted, I think there's only one way out of here.
You're right, dude. We gotta play the Reaper.
Suddenly, all sounds stop, and Bill and Ted stand speechless, directly in front of the Grim Reaper dude, whose scythe in hand stares at them, his face pale and expressionless.
Choose your game. But if you lose, you'll stay here in hell forever.
Bill and Ted swallow, and we cut to interior stark gray room a bit later. Close shots. The Grim Reaper faces Bill and Ted across a board. They look down at each other, down again. A clock ticks. Tension mounts. Sweat beads on brows. Well, at least it's more exciting than falling for ages, but what's happening? Finally,
He won.
the guys look down.
It's a miss.
Wider shot. They're playing Battleship. Bill and Ted confer silently for a moment. Then,
B7.
the Grim Reaper looks down, smiles.
Miss. C6.
Bill and Ted's faces drop.
Hit.
The Grim Reaper nods, smiles. The guys look at each other. Their eternal destiny hangs in the balance. Finally,
A7, dude.
silence. The Grim Reaper tightens, grits his teeth.
Hit. You have sunk my battleship.
The guys, exuberant, leap out of their chairs and high five. The Reaper, scowling, reluctantly looks up at the guys.
I will take you back.
And as he begins to pick up the pieces from the Battleship game, Bill and Ted, still thrilled, move aside to confer.
I knew he'd put his battleship under the A's.
Good thinking, Ted. But dude, when we get back, how are we gonna fight those other us's? They're way stronger than us, way smarter than us.
Plus, they've already killed us once.
Exactly. Dude, we are most definitely in need of assistance.
If only we could get some help.
They look at the Reaper, who, fuming, is hunched over the Battleship board, picking the little red and white pegs out and replacing them.
That's it. We can.
How?
Dude, we're in the afterlife. Everyone who ever lived is here.
Oh, yeah.
The guys cross back to the Reaper, who's now closing up the board.
Excuse us, Death, but can we play you again for other people?
The Grim Reaper eyes Bill and Ted, face tight.
Double or nothing, dude.
You will not defeat me again.
Choose your game, Death.
And we cut to interior room a moment later. Tension, anticipation, sweat beads. Bill and Ted wait anxiously as the Grim Reaper pauses meaningfully, then reaches down, pulls out a card, and announces,
I believe it was Colonel Mustard in the study with the candlestick.
Bill and Ted look at each other and smile.
Sorry, Death. You lose.
It was Professor Plum. They high-five and the Reaper glowers.
You will play me again.
To yourself, dude.
The Reaper has already set another game on the table. Moments later, we hear a buzzing sound and see the Reaper fuming as we pan down to see they're playing electric football. And the Reaper's running back is spinning in helpless little circles. All his other players are vibrating ineffectively in one end zone. Furious, the Reaper swipes the playing surface. On his checklist, Ted makes a note. We catch a glimpse of some names. Smart guys needed. Einstein, Leonardo da Vinci, and a few others.
How are we doing in terms of people?
Think okay.
Bill nods, looks half sympathetically at the Reaper.
You want to go again?
Damn right!
Bill and Ted share a silent air guitar, and we cut to close shot of a spinner. Bill slows, then stops. Ted looks at it.
Right hand, blue.
On the twister mat, Bill, intertwined with the Grim Reaper, barely manages to get his right hand on the blue spot. Ted spins again. Then,
Left foot, green.
the Reaper, his robe making movement difficult, lowers himself into a crab position for a moment, then sweating, falls back on his butt. Slowly, he looks up at the guys and exhales. Bill nods sympathetically.
That's all, dude. I think we've got enough.
Ted nods, then reaches down and helps the Reaper to his feet.
Death, you played very well.
Don't patronize me.
Whatever, dude. You got a lot to learn about sportsmanship.
The Reaper gathers himself, then turns.
This way.
As Bill and Ted follow the Grim Reaper onto an escalator,
Dude,
What?
don't fear the Reaper.
muted air guitar. The escalator starts up, and we cut to our break.
Yay!
Yay. Okay, interior, Bill and Ted's living room, same. Evil Bill and Ted throw glasses and dishes through a mini basketball hoop. Evil Bill reaches into the cupboard.
Evil Ted,
What?
we're out of dishes.
Check this out.
Evil Ted starts toward the basket. As he gets close, he leaps, and pulling off his own head, he stuffs it into the basket. On the other side of the room, Evil Bill is most impressed.
Not bad, dude. Here, let me try.
Removing his head, Evil Bill takes 2 steps and does a Kareem Abdul-Jabbar skyhook with it. I guess we hadn't reached Air Jordan days yet. But Evil Bill's head gets waylaid by a hanging lamp where it lodges and rests above the dining room table.
You totally misjudged the chandelier.
It's dusty up here. Hey, tell my body to come over here and get me.
Evil Bill's body gives him the finger.
That's all right. I'll get you.
Evil Ted leaps and grabs Evil Bill's head, which makes Evil Bill's body jump to attention.
Get your head, dude.
Evil Bill's headless body charges after Evil Ted, who holds Evil Bill's head like a running back holds a football.
I'm totally gonna tackle you, dude.
Touchdown for Evil Ted!
And Evil Ted spikes Evil Bill's head into the wastebasket. Are they playing football or basketball? What are the rules here?
Way to go, dude. We're totally headbangers.
Evil Bill's body reaches down into the garbage can to grab his head, then turns to Evil Ted, whose eyes suddenly flash white. Interior, Denomulos's lair, same time. Denomulos, surrounded by a bevy of stiff-backed rebels, leans forward into a monitor. In his eyes is a look of utter disgust.
Stop wasting time! Proceed with the plan now.
On the monitor, Evil Bill steps into frame.
Okay, dude. Well, what do you say we trash the relationships?
Excellent idea, EB.
Denomulos watches as, on the monitor, Evil Bill and Ted move out of frame and over towards the phone. Denomulos leans back and shakes his head, veins bulging.
I hate them. I hate robot versions of them.
Suddenly on the monitor, Evil Ted sticks his head back into frame.
You made us, dude.
Denomulos spins the monitor away from his view, and we cut to exterior heaven day. A great white expansive place. Blue sky, puffy white clouds, clean, glimmering, spacious. an ethereal counterpart to the dim, murky redness that was hell. Bill, Ted, and the Reaper on the escalator rise into frame.
Whoa, this is most atypical.
Now where do we go, Death Dude?
The Reaper begrudgingly points towards a great gate.
This way.
They all start toward it, passing as they do, a man handing out small gilded cards on which are printed words.
Only the most serene and enlightened souls shall gain entrance. Dude, we're in big trouble.
I got an idea.
And they duck out of frame, pulling the Reaper with them. After a beat, three serene, enlightened-looking people, two men and a woman, stroll into picture towards the gate. They stop, hearing,
Psst. Excuse us, wide dudes.
the enlightened people stop and turn.
Can we ask you a question?
The three enlightened people cross out of frame.
Go ahead, dude.
What we wanted to ask you was,
Suddenly, we hear a dull thud and a voice, followed by another thud, and another voice, oh! A moment later, same. Bill and Ted enter frame, now wearing the enlightened people's clothes over their own.
Dude, we're in heaven. We just mugged 3 people.
Yeah, we better get out of here before we ruin it for everybody. Come on, dude.
And slowly, with deep embarrassment, the Reaper joins Bill and Ted. He's dressed in the enlightened woman's clothing.
You look great, dude. It's a new look.
Yeah, it's a good color for you.
you shut up. I like my robe.
And they begin to walk toward the gate. Bill and Ted assuming a wise, strolling demeanor, the Reaper trying to hide his face, since after all, he brought every one of these people here, and he's no longer in his trademarked robes. At the gate, the gatekeeper looks up as 3 wise people approach him.
How's it going? I am William the Wild.
And I am Ted, the stallion.
The gatekeeper looks at the Reaper expectantly.
And this is our girlfriend, Deathina.
The gatekeeper studies the Reaper. Don't I know you?
Oh.
The gatekeeper shrugs, looks down at some papers. What is the meaning of life? Pause. Bill and Ted look at one another, then look back.
The meaning of life is...
Every rose has its thorn, just like every night has its dawn.
Just like every cowboy sings a sad, sad song.
Bill and Ted look at the Reaper, who clears his throat and half sings along with Bill and Ted.
Every rose has a thorn.
Beat. The gatekeeper nods and opens the gate.
Dude, one of these days we're going to have to come up with something original.
And the 3 of them enter onto a large plateau, which overlooks what appears to be an infinite number of heavenly plateaus. The guys look around. This place is huge.
Okay, if we were us, and we were in heaven looking for the creator of the universe, where would we look?
Phone book.
Seconds later, close on phone book, reading heaven and vicinity with the practically infinite intermingling of these plateaus outlined on the cover. Bill and Ted open it up. The Reaper stands off to the side, still trying not to be seen.
Let's see, Gab, Ged, Gob, Gok, Gok Jr., Gok and Sons, Linen Supply. Aha! God! Number 1, Heaven Court. Let's go, dudes.
Bill starts off.
Bill, wait a sec.
They look at each other. They start to smile, and we cut to seconds later. Ted is on the phone.
Hello? God? Is your refrigerator running? It is. Better catch it, dude.
Ted hangs up the phone. The guys share an air guitar and grab the Reaper to exit. As we cut to a white, spacious platform full of clean, white light. After a moment, Bill, Ted, and the Reaper step into frame at the bottom of a staircase and look up towards us. We never see who they're speaking to.
Okay, God, as if you didn't know already, we're not the 3 wise people you might think we are.
No. We mugged some guys and took their clothes. Also, I just made a crank phone call to you a minute ago. Sorry.
Anyways, I'm Bill S. Preston, Esquire.
And I'm Ted Theodore Logan. And we're Wild Stallions.
And this lovely lady is the Grim Reaper. He brought us here when we challenged him and won.
Angle on the Reaper. Embarrassed, he half waves, then looks at the ground. Back to the shot.
Now, okay, first of all, congratulations on Earth. It's a most excellent planet, and Bill and I enjoy it on a daily basis.
Not to mention your other great planets. Mars, Jupiter, Uranus.
Come on. Air guitar for the bad joke, guys. At least the Reaper rolled his eyes.
But that's not the point. The point is this, okay? We died.
Most unfairly.
But we won the chance to go back. And there are some individuals we would like to invite back for a while to help us out.
So we were wondering, do you think you could maybe help us find them all?
Silence. After a moment, a translucent map bathed in white light floats down. Bill grabs it.
Wow, thanks.
Yeah, you're a most just God.
Okay, well, we'll be going now.
Yeah, keep up the great work. Catch you later, God.
Catch you later, God.
And the three exit frame. Hold a beat, then Ted sticks his head back into the picture.
Oh, one thing I always wondered. You shot JR.
Bill also returns into frame.
Dude, it was 10 years ago.
It was? I just saw it on Channel 9.
I can tell you all about it.
Oh. Well, then that's it, I guess. See ya, dude.
And they leave, again. But then the Reaper sticks his head back into frame.
Sorry. They Melvined me.
And as he ducks out, we cut to another higher plateau. People from all periods of time, ancient and futuristic, play, relax, laugh, walk, etc. As Bill, Ted, and the Reaper walk into frame, Bill looks down at the map.
Well, this is the place. Now all we gotta do is find the most brilliant scientist who ever lived and invite him back.
Bill, check it out.
And Bill looks across the way where at a table, Albert Einstein sits playing chess. He looks up at Bill, Ted, and the Reaper as they approach him.
Excuse us, Mr. Albert Einstein, dude. I'm Bill, and this is Ted. And this is Death.
We have met.
First off, my friend Ted and I found your theory of relativity most informative.
By the way, not only is time travel possible, but it is also most enjoyable experience.
Speaking of which, Albert Einstein, we are prepared to offer you an opportunity to return to Earth.
All you gotta do is help us design something to fight a couple of evil robots who have been sent from the future to kill us.
Thank you. But I've been to Earth already, and I much prefer it here than... Excuse me.
Einstein begins to contemplate his next chess move. Bill and Ted look at each other and shrug.
Maybe we could try somebody else.
Who's that?
Leonardo da Vinci.
Maybe we can bag him.
And they take off out of frame as we cut to, in another spot, Leonardo da Vinci. He shakes his head.
I'm sorry, I have no wish to go back. Sorry, Hunter.
Bill and Ted look at each other, swallow, and we cut to in yet another spot, Benjamin Franklin, who shakes his head. Elsewhere, Aristotle, who also shakes his head. Bill and Ted look at each other, stunned.
Dude, nobody wants to go back. Everybody's been to Earth.
What we need is somebody who hasn't been to Earth.
Ted, that's it. We'll get somebody who hasn't been there. Dude, this isn't just heaven for Earth. It's heaven for the whole universe.
Whoa, yeah.
Classic Keanu, forever a gift. The guys share an excited grin, and we cut to exterior, an entirely different plateau. Similar to the previous one, broad, airy, expansive, except the people in it aren't people, they're Martians. Round, furry beings with round, lumpy, padded heads, strolling, laughing, and chatting. Bill, Ted, and the Reaper at the lip of a little rise look over at the Martians.
Whoa.
Whoa!
Reverse angle from their POV. In a little knoll, a dozen or so Martians are engaged in a bizarre game. In a circle, the Martians run around quickly and then jump up. One flies away. A second later, it lands on its head in the center. They all clap. Bill, Ted, and the Reaper watch. Bill and Ted are impressed.
That looks fun.
Yeah, let's play. Excuse us, Martian dudes.
Seconds later, Bill, along with 13 other Martians, runs in a bizarre little circle as Ted, standing in the middle, jumps. Ted flies out of frame. A second later, he lands on his head in the center. Everybody claps.
Way to go, dude! You won!
Ted gives a thumbs up. A little while later, as the game ends and a new one begins, Bill and Ted address the group of Martians.
Excuse us, Martian dudes, but could you tell us who is a famous scientist among you?
General murmuring. The Martians look around, then point to two particular Martians who are sitting on a distant ledge alone. Cut to a couple minutes later on that ledge. As the guys are just finishing up their pitch, in the background, the Reaper is now in the center of the game circle.
So, come to Earth and help us defeat some evil robot usses.
The scientist Martians nod and speak in what apparently is their own language.
Station?
I guess that means yes. Sounds good, Martians. You'll enjoy our fair planet Earth. It is a most resplendent place.
Speaking of which, we'd better hurry. Who knows what those evil robot usses are going to be doing?
In the background, the Reaper flies out of frame, then lands outside the little circle, therefore having lost. And as Bill, Ted, and the Martians cross back to him, we cut to interior Bill and Ted's apartment, same. Close on the goldfish bowl, which evil Ted is dumping in the sink.
Catch you later, Axl Rose.
As he turns on the garbage disposal, watching it closely, then grinning. We get it. You're evil. Did you really have to kill the fish? Ted loved him so much.
Check it out. Fish stew.
Pan to evil Bill on the phone, giving evil Ted a quick thumbs up.
Hello, Mr. Ryan. Bill S. Preston, Esquire. You suck, dude.
He hangs up. We hear an extremely loud wailing electric guitar, and evil Ted wanders past, thrashing about with his guitar.
I'm totally playing too loud.
After a moment, the doorbell rings. Evil Ted continues playing as evil Bill makes his way across the incredibly messy apartment to the door. Mrs. Davis, the guy's timid, elderly landlord, stands there.
Excuse me, William, but could you and Theodore please turn down your instruments? With Miss Davis' heart condition, it's a little loud.
Evil Bill stares coldly at her.
Deal with it.
Mrs. Davis's face registers confusion and concern.
William, you boys are...
Evil Bill lowers his shoulder and shoves her backwards, where she plunges over the balcony and hurtles into the pool.
Way to go. Let's do something else bad.
Like what?
I don't know. Let's do some insider trading.
We don't got time. Denomalous wants us to nab the females and get to the concert. How about this? We'll take the Porsche and run over cats on the way.
Genius, EB.
High fives. And as they exit, we cut to exterior desert, late afternoon. Close on Bill and Ted's eyes, slowly opening and looking around.
Oh.
Wider angle. In the shrubs where they died, they creakily sit up and look at each other.
Dude, we're back.
I think a buzzard was pecking at my head.
Dinner's over, worm dudes. Watch out, Ted.
The guys move to the side just as the stations fall out of the sky and land on their feet right near them with a pair of light oomphs.
You okay, little dudes?
The stations nod excitedly. Ted looks around.
It's death.
We hear a yell and they all look up. Just as the Reaper plummets out of the sky and lands on his belly with a resounding thud. Beat. Bill, Ted, and the stations look down at him.
You okay, dude?
The Reaper nods, embarrassed.
First on the agenda, get back to town and clean up.
Second, call the babes and warn them.
Third, purchase stuff to fight off evil usses.
They start up a winding path, the Reaper hobbling and picking leaves and branch bits from his robe at the rear. And we cut to exterior van moments later from behind. The van squeals away, shooting back towards the main road. Cut to exterior San Dimas Street, same. Evil Bill and Ted tear around a corner in their by now even more battered Porsche. Interior Porsche speeding. Evil Ted points out the window.
There's one, EB.
Evil Bill swerves the car madly. We hear a cat yowling. Different cat actor, maybe?
Just missed.
And then Evil Ted motions to a house up ahead.
Dude, we're there.
Okay, I got an idea. Take off your seatbelt.
Outstanding.
They unlatch their belts. And then as Evil Bill deliberately steers the speeding car directly into the curb, Evil Bill and Ted fly through the windshield and shoot through the air, playing an excited air guitar as they sail out of frame. Interior Logan house, same. The princesses are sitting in the living room with Missy.
Just seems so different.
So cold.
You know, I had a strange experience with them myself.
Suddenly we hear yelling, "Whoa!"
Whoa!
And with a crash, Evil Bill and Ted fly through the living room window and slide across the floor, smashing headfirst into the fireplace. They stand up and brush themselves off.
How's it going, lady humans?
Hey, Mom. How's about a kiss where it counts?
Missy slaps him.
Ted!
Evil Ted nods. He and Evil Bill grab Joanna and Elizabeth.
Ready for the big night, babes?
He grabs Missy's keys off the table, and with Evil Bill starts to drag the terrified princesses out the door. Just then, however, Captain Logan appears in the hallway, looking half dazed, obviously still recovering from his possession earlier in the morning. He looks around the room at Evil Ted.
Ted? What the hell is going on here?
Confidentially, Dad, I'm an evil robot.
Totally is, dude.
And Evil Bill and Ted again start towards the door with the struggling princesses in tow. Captain Logan steps toward Evil Ted.
Damn it, Ted.
But before Captain Logan can do a thing, Evil Ted grabs him, picks him up, spins him, and cheered on by Evil Bill, chucks him right into the ceiling, where he sticks, legs dangling helplessly. Whoa, way harsh. Missy, shocked, passes out. The princesses gasp and stare.
Who are you?
Well, at least the princesses know it's not really Bill and Ted. Evil Bill and Ted look at the girl, suddenly earnest.
Well, you see.
Then, with a look at each other, Evil Bill and Evil Ted unzip their entire selves, revealing that underneath, Evil Bill has in fact been wearing an Evil Ted suit, and Evil Ted has in fact been wearing an Evil Bill suit. Because that's not confusing. Do they just switch suits when they're bored? Or is it maybe that Denomalos causes headaches, so it can't always be Evil Ted that receives the messages? Can robots get headaches? The transformation complete, the guys do an enthusiastic air guitar. The princesses pass out. Honestly, same, ladies, same. That's probably easier at this point.
Brilliantly pointless surprise, EB.
Let's bag them.
And as Evil Bill and Ted bend down to grab the women, we cut to exterior Builder's Emporium night. The van screeches to a halt in the parking lot, and Bill and Ted jump out, followed by the stations and the Reaper. Then, as they all hurry across the parking lot.
Okay, stations, this is the Builder's Emporium. It's a repository for all kinds of earthly building materials. We will buy what you need to battle with our robot antithesis here. Understand?
Listen.
Then, as they reach the automatic opening doors, Ted looks at Bill and sniffs.
Dude, what's that smell?
Ted, it's us, dude. We've been dead for 12 hours.
And entering the store, they look at an arrow which indicates telephones and restrooms. They head in that direction. And we cut to interior bathroom. Seconds later, a big burly trucker enters, sniffs the air, and frowns.
Who died in here?
Ted, at the sink drying his face, looks over at the trucker.
I did, dude. Plus, we got a Martian.
The stations emerge from a stall past the trucker. And they exit into the store, the back hallway, where Bill is on the payphone. Stations cross to the Reaper, who is waiting for them with a shopping cart. Ted crosses to Bill, hands him a paper towel.
Any luck, dude?
They're not at their place or at ours. I'm trying your dad's place now. Maybe they went to talk to Missy.
Ted nods, glances around the store, where the stations have leapt into the kiddie seat of the shopping cart, which the Reaper, huffing and puffing, is pushing down an aisle. Cut to interior Logan house, same. Evil Bill and Ted, princesses thrown over their shoulder, are about to leave when the phone rings. Evil Bill picks it up.
Logan residence, Evil Bill Preston speaking. It's them. They're back from the dead.
Oh. I guess we get to kill him again.
Excellent.
Excellent.
Interior Builder's Emporium at the payphone. Bill, standing with Ted, looks across the store at the stations and the Reaper, who are furiously ripping through the store. The stations pointing at items, Death feeling put out, throwing them into the cart.
We're ready for you.
Yeah.
Says they're ready for us.
Well, I think we can be ready for them too.
Good luck ending the concert, losers. Go for it, dude.
Evil Ted nods, pushing a button on the side of his neck. Suddenly his eyes spin like a slot machine. In a flash, Denomolos's enraged image appears in Evil Ted's eyes.
Master, tell me what to do.
Begin the emergency plan.
Got it, great one.
Shut up! Do not fail me, metallic buffoons.
And he's gone. Evil Ted, his eyes spinning back, shakes his head vigorously.
Station, my eyes were totally insulting me.
Excellent, E.T. Let's do it.
And he and Evil Ted each open their shirts, reach into their guts, and pull out a couple of small, nasty, glowing tubes. They look down at the tubes, shake their heads.
I'll be glad. There it is again. I'll be glad to get rid of these things.
Definitely. Let's go, dude.
They throw the fuse-like tubes onto the floor, and as they relift the girls onto their shoulders and exit, we hold until 3 distinct shapes begin to materialize on the floor. But before we get a chance to see what these things are, we cut back to the Builder's Emporium. Bill hangs up, stares at the telephone receiver, and shakes his head.
That other me is a dick.
Ted nods. The guys turn, start towards the door, and we cut to the parking lot a moment later. Ted throws the van door open, and Bill and Death throw just purchased items into the van.
Dude, I hope the stations know what they're doing.
Ted nods, then taps Bill on the shoulder. They turn and look at the stations, who have backed away from each other and are now standing on opposite ends of the parking lot. The guys shake their heads.
Station? What are you doing?
Little dudes, this is not the time to play games.
In the parking lot, the 2 separate stations, now standing about 30 feet apart, look over at Bill and Ted, and with a confident nod, they suddenly begin running towards one another. At the last minute, when it looks like they're certain to crash into each other, they leap into the air, and in a shower of sparks, suddenly connect, thunk, thus creating an entire new being. A lean, stripped-down version of Station, which lands in the parking lot before Bill and Ted.
Station.
And with that, Station looks at a diagram Bill was holding, whips out a pen, and begins writing inhumanly fast on it. Bill and Ted look at each other and grin.
Station!
John!
They dive into the van, and we cut to exterior road moments later. The van shoots across town. Inside the van, speeding, Ted moves into the back of the van, unable to believe what he's witnessing. Station is furiously at work, organizing the items they purchased.
Whoa, way to go, Station. Okay, so these are the bases, and these would be the midsections, right?
Station.
Bill, check it out.
Up front, Bill looks back and gives a thumbs up, just as the Reaper shuffles back and sits in the passenger seat, insecure.
Excuse me, Bill. What would you like me to do?
You you'll watch the van, dude.
Look, is there some problem here? I mean, do you not like me or something?
Man,
Bill looks over and shakes his head, very sincere.
Death, you're great. You're a really nice guy. Have some gum, dude.
The Reaper, feeling sorry for himself, turns away, lowered lip trembling. Bill looks at him a second, then turns back, half rolling his eyes. Then suddenly he tightens. He slows the van down.
What is that?
Up ahead, standing in the middle of the street, silhouetted under streetlights, are the three figures we saw beginning to take shape at the Logan house, only now they're fully formed. One is tall, pear-shaped with very big ears. Another is small and withered, seated in a chair. The last is stout and powerfully built, hands on hips. And behind these is the Porsche, parked at an angle in the road. Inside the van, as Bill slows to a stop, Ted joins him in front.
Looks like a roadblock.
That's not the police.
No. It's
He flicks on the high beams, and suddenly both Bill and Ted scream.
No way!
no way.
For in the street before them stand their three worst fears, now heightened and exaggerated. Colonel Oates, now larger than before, with his face all wild and frenzied, totes an arsenal of weapons. Granny S. Preston Esquire's stark white hair now stands straight up, and her facial hair is now thick and bristly. And the now 7-foot-tall Easter Bunny's huge steel teeth gnash. Oates glowers at the guys and bellows.
Yes, way, you damned pitiful wussies. Now get out of that van, and I mean now.
Yeah, you wussies. And among with the other fears, he starts towards the van. Inside the van, Bill and Ted stare ahead, ghost white, trembling with stark terror. The Reaper and Station huddle next to them.
Better do something, dude.
Yeah.
Suddenly, Bill throws the van into reverse and hits the gas, causing the Reaper and Station to lurch forward, crushing into each other against the dashboard. Then Bill cranks the wheel, and they topple into the van as the van begins a wild 360-degree turn, which sends the Reaper and Station and all their building supplies flying from one side of the van to the other. Bill completes the turn, straightens the van, hits the gas, and drives straight, as the three fears, who hold their ground for a beat, then at the last minute leap, or in the case of Granny S. Preston Esquire, roll out of the way. Inside the van, Station chatters excitedly.
Station.
Then calmly he gets back to work on Bill and Ted's creation, sparking up a power drill.
Nice work, Bill. I think we lost him.
But the Reaper, peering out the back window, shakes his head.
I'm afraid not.
And sure enough, in the wake of the van, three fears have hurried to the side of the street and are jumping into Evil Bill and Ted's stolen Porsche. The Easter Bunny rips off the roof of the Porsche and leaps into the driver's seat. Granny S. Preston Esquire is chucked into the passenger seat, wheelchair and all, and Colonel Oates dives into the back, whipping out a gun. Colonel.
Damn it, Travis.
I'm here. And I say, step on it, you damn 7-foot hopping pink bastard.
Yeah. The Easter Bunny hits the gas and the Porsche squeals down the street after the van, Oates firing wildly. Through an industrial part of town, the two vehicles scream at very high speed. Inside the van, Ted, crunched next to death, peers out the back window. Bullets whiz past.
They're catching up.
Hold on.
And with the sudden jerk of the wheel, Bill whips the van around a sharp corner. The Grim Reaper lurches to the side. Porsche follows, gaining speed. Inside the Porsche, as the Easter Bunny, ears flapping in the breeze, accelerates after the van. Oates empties his gun, then leans forward and jabs a finger at Granny S. Preston Esquire.
You get out and do your thing.
Granny braces herself as Oates and the Bunny push her out of the Porsche, where her wheelchair hits the ground, smoke pouring out, sparks flying as it bounces once or twice. and then continues along behind the speeding vehicle at 75 miles per hour, rocket jets belching fire behind it. Inside the Porsche, Oates feeds a lead rope back to Granny Espresso and Esquire, who grabs onto it. Inside Bill and Ted's van, Ted, still looking back, shakes his head in horrified disbelief.
No way. It's your granny, dude.
Oh no.
Their eyes, now Bill's eyes widen as the Porsche suddenly veers to one side, causing Granny Espresso and Esquire to swing around like a water skier and gain speed, ending up nearly even with the van. Granny looks over at Bill, her wild shock of white hair blowing straight back, her tiny crazed features shaking up and down.
Hello, Bill!
Terrified, Bill swerves to the right and the van scrapes against a concrete wall. Granny swings closer to the van and points to her bristly cheek.
How about that kiss?
Bill veers to the right again, this time even more sharply. Crunch!
No!
In the Porsche, Oates, now loading a bazooka, yells at the Easter Bunny.
Take her closer, you great bouncing egg delivering behemoth.
The bunny swerves closer, causing Granny to do the same, wheelchair rocket jets sputtering. Inside the speeding van, Bill, attempting to avoid his granny fear, screeches against the wall, the van now barely under control. Ted pushes his way past Station, who continues to work, fixated, and hurries up front, where he joins Bill, looking out the window at Granny Espresso and Esquire, who's still pointing at her cheek.
You gotta do it, dude. You gotta face her.
But that mustache.
Bill, you've got to face your fears.
Bill looks over at Ted, and we smash cut to a second later, close on Bill's face, wind blown and terrified. A wider shot reveals that Bill is being dangled out the side of the van towards Granny. In the van, Ted, now driving, looks at Death, who's fishing Bill out the window.
Little further, dude.
I'm trying, but I must be careful of my lower back.
The Reaper lowers Bill a bit further, and now Bill and Granny Espresso and Esquire are close enough for Bill to crane his neck, close his eyes, swallow, and kisses Granny square on the cheek. She looks at him and smiles.
Aw, now that wasn't so bad, was it?
And transforms back into a brightly glowing tube, which then lands and shatters to bits on the asphalt. Bill, immensely relieved, is reeled back into the van, where everyone applauds him for a moment.
Station.
I was the one lifting you.
Thanks, Death. I appreciate it.
Suddenly, thump, there's the sound of something large and heavy landing on the roof. Ted looks up.
What was that?
Bill shakes his head. Death and Station look up at the roof. The large, heavy object begins moving, and we cut to the roof of the van, zooming fast, as the Easter Bunny bellies along the top, pink eyes glowing, snout smoking. Exterior street, the two vehicles blow past a police car. Interior police car, two cops look at each other, take off after the Porsche. From inside of which, Oates, now driving, yells at the Easter Bunny.
Get in there, you damned floppy-eared candy-tootin' demon.
The Easter Bunny suddenly drives his long yellow steel teeth right into the roof of the van. Inside, Death cowers as those same teeth suddenly appear right next to his head. In the back, Station continues to work unperturbed, removes a wheel well and solders it to something.
Station.
Bill looks over at Ted, who grips the wheel, frozen in horror.
Hit the gas, Ted. Hit the gas.
The Easter Bunny suddenly lurches backwards and slides off the back of the van, as inside, Ted floors it.
Good work.
Did we lose him?
I think so.
Bill is wrong, for underneath the speeding van, hanging onto the chassis, riding only inches above the rushing asphalt, clambering forward like Indiana Jones, is the Easter Bunny. In the van, Ted, breathing a bit easier, looks over at Bill.
Good suggestion, dude.
Suddenly, Ted's eyes widen as the Easter Bunny pops up right in front of him, blocking the windshield with its horrible, glaring, rabbity mug. You stole Deacon's Easter basket! Ted screamed. Bill, looking out the side window, gets an idea.
Take this corner, dude.
Suddenly, the Easter Bunny is thrown to the side, barely hanging onto a fender, as the van screams around a corner and turns onto a busier street. In the Porsche, Oates misses the corner, slams on the brakes, and screams.
Get them, you damned fuzzy whiskered hippity hopping sack of shit.
Oates have a side gig as a rejected names writer. Why does he have so much anger for the bunny? Inside the van, Ted leans forward, peers at the Easter Bunny, who begins clawing his way upward again.
Now what?
But Bill isn't paying attention to Ted. Rather, he's looking out the side window.
Ted, stop.
Ted hits the brakes. The bunny is thrown forward onto the street and at the stoplight where they sit. Bill looks over at a BMW, which is pulled to a stop next to them. The guy within is talking on his car phone, opens his window and calls.
Excuse me, dude. Can we use your phone?
Meanwhile, on the street, the Easter Bunny turns and starts hopping towards the van, where Ted grabs the car phone and dials it rapidly.
Come on. Come on.
As the bunny reaches the van and begins crushing its metal around the guys.
Hey, Deacon, it's Ted. 10 years ago, at Nana and Pop Pop's house, I totally stole your Easter basket and ate all of your candy. Yes, me. I did it. And I'm so sorry.
And just as the bunny has forced the van's creaking metal right up against the guys, Ted tosses the phone to the BMW guy.
Thanks, dude.
And he hits the gas. In the nick of time, the Easter Bunny transforms into a great glowing tube, which falls away from the van, crashing onto the street, just in front of the police car, which has followed the van into the intersection. As the tube shatters in a burst of glass and neon, the cops skid to a stop and look at each other.
Get that license plate?
Give me Captain Logan.
Meanwhile, in the van, Bill, Ted, and Death whoop it up. Station cuts a hand-shaped hole in the side of the van, and then, exterior street, the van screams around a corner, turns down a narrow street, and suddenly skids to a halt. Inside the van, Bill, Ted, and Death peer out the front windshield at Colonel Oates, who's now stalking towards them, scowling horribly, bazooka raised.
Damn useless furry maggot, I'm gonna have to do this myself.
He cocks the bazooka. In the van, Bill and Ted look at each other.
How are we going to get rid of him?
Dude, there's only one way to get rid of a guy like this. We gotta kill him with kindness.
Ted nods, and we cut to a tracking shot from behind Colonel Oates as Oates reaches the side doors to the van and throws them open. His face registers sudden surprise, for inside the van, Bill and Ted have quickly organized Station and the Reaper into a pleasant little tea party, replete with snacks, drinks, and light conversation. Station's creation is mostly hidden behind boxes and now removed van paneling. The guys look over at Oates and smile warmly.
Colonel Oates, what a nice surprise. Come on in, dude.
Join us for our tea party. Honey bun? Twinkie? Slim Jim?
Death hands Oates a styrofoam cup. Station pours some coffee into it. Oates stares at them, jaw quivering, and we do a quick dissolve to interior van a moment later. Oates, now sitting cross-legged between Station and the Reaper, bazooka on his lap, honey bun crumbs on his chin, shakes his head.
When I was a teenager, my father used to spank me with an ammo clip. He frightened me. I now realize that that's what I've been doing for these last 2 decades in hell, terrorizing young people.
Pete. Station strokes Oates' hair. The Reaper pats him on the shoulder.
It's an important epiphany, sir.
Catch you later.
And sure enough, in a flash, Oates transforms, grabbing another honey bun as he goes. The guys look at each other.
We'd better hurry.
Ted nods, but then suddenly tightens, hearing.
Ted?
The guys turn and see Captain Logan rushing towards them, Missy trailing behind.
You two are in serious trouble.
The guys' mouths drop open even further.
Oh no, it's my dad. Dad, we can explain.
There's no time, Ted. We've got to get you to the concert and get rid of those, well, evil robots. Use.
Bill and Ted look at each other, thrilled.
Excellent.
Excellent.
Captain Logan tips the Colonel Oates tube out of the van. It shadows on the street, and we cut to exterior amphitheater night. A marquee reads tonight. Rian Wardrobe Productions presents the San Dimas Grand Jam. At the bottom of the list of bands is Wild Stallions, misspelled correctly as Wild Stallions. As people enter, passing the TV trailers parked outside, we hear music and we cut to inside the amphitheater, where the large crowd applauds mildly as two pseudo-Marxist techno wavers, one tall and blondish, the other shorter with curly hair, each wearing tiny spectacles and jet black clothing, who are at their microphones proclaiming in a staccato rhythm,
We are citizens of this, our life, manning the barricades of this, our future. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and they launch into a strange, syncopated instrumental. In the wings, Evil Bill and Ted push past carrying a trunk. Evil Ted glances at his watch and smiles.
Those two loser human usses should be history by now.
Stellar.
They grab their guitars. Miss Wardrobe approaches.
Guys, ready? You're on next.
Evil Bill and Ted nod and smile.
Where are the girls?
We just tied him to the rafters.
Yeah, we're totally gonna kill him at the finale.
Good luck, gentlemen.
As she walks away, Evil Bill and Ted look up toward the rafters, where we see the princesses dangling from ropes, gagged. Back on the side of the state, Evil Bill and Ted smile. And we cut to exterior San Dimas Street, night. The police car tears past, siren wailing, followed closely by the van. Interior van. Bill drives, wood and metal jutting into the front from the back, where Ted and Station continue to work on the now halfway completed creation.
Okay, we gotta get this working through the whole middle. But then we'll need more power, yeah?
Exterior street. The cars screech around a corner, shooting toward the amphitheater. Interior police car. Captain Logan drives furiously, with Missy next to him in the passenger seat. With no room for him in the van, the Reaper sits alone in the backseat of the police car. After a beat, Missy turns to him.
So, Bill said your name was Slim?
Grim. It's Grim.
What kind of name is that?
The Reaper yanks off his hood, revealing his gaunt, bony head.
I'm Death, damn it!
The police car takes a dip, and the Reaper bounces up, hitting his head on the ceiling. He sinks down into the seat, utterly humiliated. As exterior amphitheater, the police car shoots over a curb and into the parking lot. The van, now looking like a metal Swiss cheese, follows. As it screeches to a stop, Bill jumps out, runs over to the side door, and peers in. Things are definitely beginning to take shape.
Station, you could do the final assembly right here in the parking lot. Me and Ted will fight him as long as we can.
Ted speaks to Station as Captain Logan and Missy rush up.
You guys help out here. We're going in.
Bill and Ted turn and rush past the Reaper, who, rubbing his head, looks at them forlorn, utterly whipped.
But what about me?
Bill and Ted stop, look at each other, and nod.
Come with us, dude. You can help us stall for time.
They hear tepid applause from inside and begin running towards the theater, where inside the crowd is beginning to disperse. The judges squirm and yawn. Around the theater, various cameramen rub their eyes. On stage, as the Wilman Patrick's axiom comes off disappointed, Ms. Wardrobe takes the mic.
Okay, that was the Wilman Patrick axiom, whatever that was. Last, something I think you'll really enjoy from San Dimas.
In the back of the amphitheater, same, Bill, Ted, and the Reaper climb to the top of the chain-linked fence and peer over just in time to hear
Wild Stallions!
On stage, Evil Bill and Ted mince on, guitars slung over their shoulders, smirks smeared across their faces. At the top of the fence, Bill and Ted look at each other.
No way.
And they jump down on the other side. Then as they get up and prepare to run, they stop, hearing.
Oh.
Turning back, they see the Reaper, tangled badly, his robe caught on the top of the fence. It's tied out over his head, exposing his pale, bony body, his boxer shorts, his black shorts with little sock suspenders, and his black wingtip shoes. Bill reaches up and frees the Reaper. Falls as we hear,
How's it going, worms? I'm Bill S. Preston, Esquire.
I'm Ted Theodore Logan, and we are Wild
Wild Stallions.
Stallions.
Bill and Ted look at each other and start running as on stage. Evil Bill and Ted squirm, faces contorted as they wail their opening guitar riffs, the hideous bleat echoing through the sides of the theater. Where Bill and Ted rush towards the wings, the Reaper trailing behind. As they near the stage, Bill turns to the Reaper.
You gotta keep the show going, Death. You gotta cover for us.
Stopping, the Reaper peers through the wings, looks at the crowd, and shakes his head.
I can't. I haven't the experience. I haven't.
Death, we need your help.
But I'm frightened. All these people. I'm better one-on-one.
Dude, we're scared too.
Yeah, we gotta make a big speech, and we don't even know what it is.
That's what you're worried about, Bill? Speech? Not that evil robots will kill your girlfriends? Or the audience? Or that nice lady that took a chance on you? Who is she anyway?
But
Get out there, dude.
And Bill and Ted push the Reaper out onto the stage. View from the audience, where opposite evil Bill and Ted, who thrash about with their guitars, the Reaper stumbles out from the wings, stops, stares for a beat at the audience, then faints, falling backwards and hitting his head on the synthesizer, which starts playing a musical vamp, causing evil Bill and Ted to turn and see Bill and Ted now entering from the wings. They look at evil Bill and Ted, who stop their music and stare.
No way.
Yes,
This way, Bill and Ted.
The crowd, seeing two sets of Bills and Teds and a hooded figure lying between them, begins to quiet down, a few actually turning back and taking their seats. The judges look on curiously as on stage, Bill and Ted take a couple more steps forward.
You totally killed us, you evil metal dickweeds.
That's right, and we're totally gonna do it again.
Yeah. Plus, we're fully gonna kill your girlfriends.
Evil Ted cuts a rope. Above him and Evil Bill, the princesses suddenly drop into frame with muted screams. And now around the theater, attention is completely refocused on the stage. If people weren't sitting, they are now. Wardrobe raises an eyebrow as on stage, Bill and Ted, pumped with rage, look at each other. Then screaming, charge their evil robot selves. Bill throws a punch. Evil Bill blocks it. Ted tries a kick. It's avoided effortlessly by Evil Ted. They look at each other, swallow, and whack are knocked backwards. As they fly through the air, Ted calls to the princesses.
We'll save you, babes.
Boom. The guys smack against another wall. This isn't going well. The crowd, however, which is growing by the minute, is really enjoying this. On stage, the Reaper, hearing applause, awakens and, spurred on by it, musters a bit of confidence and steps to the mic.
hello, I am Death. I come from beyond. I repeat soul with my bony wand.
Behind the Reaper, Evil Bill and Ted have cornered the real Bill and Ted.
Got you, lesser developed human prototype usses.
They grab them, and with a cruel surge of power, fling them across the stage, where they land dazed against another wall. The crowd cheers again. The Reaper sees the two sets of Bill and Teds on opposite sides of the stage, and gaining confidence continues.
Behold before you 2 Bills and 2 Teds. These 2 good and real, these true metalheads.
The crowd cheers. The Reaper begins to sway and rock.
And so my good friend...
Boom! Evil Ted shoves him away from the mic.
Shut up, dude.
The Reaper stumbles, then spins, points his finger at the audience, and begins to moonwalk badly back towards the mic, passing Bill and Ted, who look toward the back of the amphitheater.
They should better hurry. I don't know how much longer I can do this.
Ted nods, looks at the encroaching evil ones, who grab mic stands and raise them above their heads. Outside the amphitheater, Station, working with Captain Logan and Missy, darts madly around 2 large, rapidly forming objects. He lays fabric over a metal torso of some kind, screws in nuts and bolts, inserts a speaker, then gives Logan a signal. Logan fires the police car up, and a sizzling current of power shoots up a connected jumper cable and into the creations, two 15-foot tall figures, which begin to buzz and hum. On stage, lights flicker as Evil Bill and Ted now stand directly above Bill and Ted. Mike stands poised.
Tonight you will witness their ultimate battle. The winner will rightly mount the wild stallion's saddle.
The Reaper grandly opens his arms, and the entire amphitheater suddenly begins to shake.
No way!
Bill and Ted use the moment to roll away,
Bill, the babes.
Come on.
and they dash up towards the wings as the back wall of the auditorium begins to crumble, and two towering metallic Bill and Ted robots burst through the wall and do a jerky air guitar. Made from scraps of wood, metal, bits of spare tire, and fabric, they begin clanking down the center aisle. On stage, the Reaper at full form addresses the crowd.
Now, who will be the victor, the good or the evil? That is the question of us.
As the good robots come to a thundering halt at the lip of the stage, Evil Bill and Ted drop their mic stands. The Reaper begins to play the synthesizer as Evil Bill and Ted stand bemused, gazing back at the robots.
You guys can't hurt us. You're total tin cans.
Yeah, plus we have impervious shields of badness.
The good robots look at each other and grin.
Bueno.
And ba-boom! With two quick, powerful punches, Evil Bill and Ted are knocked off their feet and up towards the rafters, where Bill and Ted, having reached the princesses, look down to the stage as the evil robots rise up, look at Bill and Ted, then crash loudly below them.
Way to go, robot dudes.
How's it doing, dudes?
Station.
All four
Station.
of them briefly share an air guitar. Then Bill manages to get one of Joanna's ties undone. Joanna wiggles free. Ted unties Elizabeth.
Babes.
Bill.
Babes.
Ted. Below them, the crowd goes absolutely crazy as on stage, the good robots have raised their arms and rubbing their jaws, stunned, the evil ones start to slide uncontrollably across the floor toward them.
You're totally gonna be scrap metal, dude.
So are you.
And Evil Bill and Ted are magnetically pulled into the good robot's outstretched hands. Station, controlling two joysticks, prepares to do them in as Bill, Ted, Joanna, and Elizabeth rush from the wings to huge cheers, cross center stage, and look at Evil Bill and Ted.
Got any last things you want to say for yourselves, evil asses?
Evil Bill and Ted
Yeah.
look at each other, then turn back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's,
It's
not,
not
over
over
yet.
What? Ted, watch out.
And suddenly there's a flash of light in the sky, and the phone booth crashes down on the lip of the stage, landing in a shower of crackling, sizzling electricity. And Denomalos emerges, takes a few steps towards Bill and Ted, and smiles.
William S. Preston, Esquire. Ted Theodore Logan.
Bill, Ted, and the princesses look at each other, shrug, and nod.
Who are you, dude?
He's a mentor to the Mighty Ducks, duh. R.I.P. Hans. Oh, wait, wrong movie.
Who am I? Who am I? I am Nomalos. Denomalos. I'm saying that wrong. I am their master, and I must see to it that you die.
And with that, he whips out his weapon. The guy's jaws drop open.
What?
Why, dude?
In my day, 700 years from now, order will reign. Order and discipline. And now, it is time.
And with that, he slowly pulls the trigger and fires. Bill and Ted recoil, but just before the blast hits them, it's deflected by Ms. Wardrow, who dives in front of them, sending the laser blast bouncing back off the wall, where it knocks the gun out of Denomalos' hands and finally burns right into the pile of machinery that is evil and good robots Bill and Ted. Receiving the blast, they suddenly spark and shudder.
Whoa.
How's it doing?
Thanks, Fonzie. And zap! They all blow up into a million tiny pieces, sending towering thunderbolts of energy in all directions toward the non-glowing TV cameras, toward the TV truck, which is stationed outside, and even up toward the sky, where an orbiting satellite is suddenly electrified. The result of all of this is everywhere in the universe where a television set is turned on, this concert is suddenly broadcast. In China, in Africa, on Mars. A station can be famous too. Everyone in the known universe is now witnessing Bill and Ted and the Great One's reaction as Ms. Wardrow staggers around the stage, then stops and rips open her top and reveals that inside her body is
Rufus!
Rufus!
That's right, kids, she's Rufus.
You!
Denomalos starts to reach for his weapon, but before he can, Rufus whips a gun out of his own and aims it directly at Denomalos.
Don't even try it, Denomalos. Gentlemen, meet my old gym teacher, Mr. Denomalos, sit up champ of the 27th century, a man whose ideas are so incordious with the tide of the day. He has taken great effort to bend the world's views to match his own, but fortunately, he has failed. Captain Logan.
Rufus nods to Captain Logan, who walks up and cuffs Denomalos.
Whoa, way to go, Dad.
A most ignoble ending, Demomulus. Logan leads. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Logan leads the ashen Denomalos off stage and toward the awaiting officers, Pratt and Gas. Bill, Ted, and the princesses cross to Rufus.
How long have you been here, Rufus?
I got here just in time for your audition, William.
So, you were Miss Wardrobe all along?
Do you think anyone else knew to take a chance on you? And now, gentlemen, the stage is yours.
Thanks, Rufus.
And Bill and Ted cross to their mics as Rufus picks up a guitar. Joanna crosses to the keyboards, taps the Reaper on the shoulder, and points to a stand-up bass. The Reaper goes to it immediately. Wouldn't it be nice if we had some good robots as backup dancers too? Oh well. Station picks up a saxophone, wails on it a second. As trembling with nerves, the guys look at each other, then at their band. Go on, Death nods to them. The princesses smile encouragingly. Bill steps forward, voice shaky.
So, I guess this is the place where we're supposed to make that speech.
Well, what are we gonna say?
I don't know, but it better be good.
The theater, all eyes and cameras are locked onto them. All around the universe, people and Martians watch rapt. As on stage, the guys look at each other for a moment, brows furrowed, really struggling. Finally, glancing over at the Grim Reaper, who continues to vamp on the bass, Bill gets an idea. He steps forward, grabs his mic, and blurts,
Kiss your fears, dudes.
Yeah, or just call them. Or offer them a honey bun or something. They'll go away.
Yeah, they're not that bad.
Here's what's bad. Evil robot versions of you.
Ah, yes, because everyone has an evil robot version of themselves.
Yeah, don't get programmed by a Martian.
Oh, way to turn that into a good metaphor, guys. Carry on.
Beyond that, all we can say is,
Kiss your fears.
don't be a robot. And let's
play.
The crowd roars and the band launches into a bad song. The guys look at each other.
Dude, we're in front of the entire universe and we still don't know how to play.
Maybe we ought to get good, Ted.
But how?
Pause. The guys slowly shift their attention to the phone booth.
Ladies and gentlemen, excuse us just a second.
And the guys leap into the booth, quickly dial some numbers, and in a flash, the booth disappears. A split second, it reappears, dripping center stage. The doors open, and through the smoke and sparks, Bill and Ted, now literally 6 months older, emerge, waving to the crowd. They're dressed completely differently. Bill's hair is frizzed out in a puffy blonde perm. Ted has grown long sideburns and Fu Manchu mustache and a soul patch.
That was a fast 6 months.
Yeah, let's hope that intensive guitar training paid off.
They step up to the mic.
Hello, San Dimas and surrounding universe.
The guys look at each other.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
And they leap into the most amazing, over-the-top, indescribably masterful guitar solos ever heard. The audience is blown away. All over the world, people watch, fascinated. Bums in front of TV store windows, Eskimos in igloos, even dogs and cats gather in front of TVs. Mass hysteria. In the White House, George Bush enters his bedroom, glances over at the TV.
What's that, Silver Fox?
Bill and Ted,
What'd they say?
kiss your fears and don't be a robot.
Station.
In the Kremlin, Mikhail Gorbachev looks at the TV.
Don't be a robot. Yes, yes.
On Mars, Martians cheer and yell, each of them chanting, "Station!" At the concert, the crowd cheers wildly. As on stage, Bill and Ted continue their thundering, incredible guitar solos. They reintroduce the Grim Reaper.
Give it up for our bass player, the Duke of Spooks, the Doc of Shock.
The man with no tan. Say hello to death himself, the Grim Reaper.
See, you might be a king or little street sweeper, but sooner or later you'll dance with the Reaper. Ha ha! Get down with your bad selves. I love show business.
And together, the Wild Stallions play music that saves the world. Rufus turns to look directly at the camera. Beat.
Asian.
And as he starts to play too, we freeze frame and fade out. Music continues over titles with all of the epic album covers that Bill and Ted eventually make. The end.
Yay! Well done, everybody. Thank you for watching our script reading of Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. Night.
Yeah.